Silence, please! The moon watches over our slumber and brings out the beast in us! The moon is inscrutable. The moon changes.
The moon circles the Earth, reflecting light from the sun. One part of the moon is always in sunlight, and the other part is in the dark. When the moon is between the Earth and the sun, its bright side is facing away from us, so from our point of view, it's a moonless night. In 1 week, the moon completes a quarter of its orbit. We see its first quarter. A week later, the bright side of the moon is fully visible.
It's a full moon.
7 days later, we see its last quarter. And the fourth week,
It disappears.
the cycle repeats every 29.5 days. Since the moon orbits the Earth, we see a different part of its bright side every day. The moon changes.
Nighty-night.
When the moon is between the Earth and the sun, the lighted face of the moon is facing the sun, and the dark side is facing the Earth. Therefore, in this phase of the moon, called a new moon, none of the moon is illuminated. But as the moon continues to revolve around the Earth, more of it becomes visible. This process is called waxing. In a few days, the moon continues to wax until the first quarter moon appears. Then, several days later, it becomes a beautiful full moon. In a full moon, the Earth is between the sun and the moon. As it continues to revolve, more of it grows darker. This process is called waning. The phase seen here is a last quarter moon. As the days go by, it slowly disappears to become a new moon, starting the cycle all over again.
Hi, I'm RJ, with more science news you can use. Why does the shape of the moon seem to change?
Because the Earth casts a shadow on the moon?
No, that doesn't happen very often. Only during an eclipse.
The sun's light shines on the moon, and that light bounces back to Earth.
You're right. What we see from Earth depends on the position of the moon, the sun, and the Earth. When the Earth is between the moon and the sun, we see the entire side of the moon that is lit by the sun, or full moon.
How does the shape change?
As the moon continues to move around the Earth, we don't see all of the side that is lit by the sun. We see less and less of that side until we don't see anything. Then slowly we see more of the moon until we see the full moon again. To learn more, visit our website. Until next time, I'm RJ with cool science news you can use.
Though we always see the same side of the moon doesn't always look the same. Over a period of about 29 days, the moon goes through a series of phases. As shown here, the moon is lit by the sun and we see the reflected light. As the moon circles the Earth, we see that lighted moon face from a different angle. When the moon is here, we see a big, bright full moon. As the moon moves over here, the fullness gradually decreases. The line separating the light from dark sections is called the terminator. After about 14 days of travel, the moon has circled halfway around its orbit path, so it now lies between the Earth and Sun. We no longer see the moon at night. We call this moon phase the new moon. After the new moon, the moon swings past the sun and its face gradually waxes or increases in size until it's big, bright, and full about 2 weeks later.
Why does the moon look like it changes?
Well, here on Earth, it turns out that we always see exactly the same features on the moon's surface. That's because the moon spins once around its axis in the same amount of time it takes to go all the way around the Earth, about 4 weeks. So the same side of the moon is always facing us. What we see as changes, or phases of the moon, are actually changes in the moon's illumination as seen from Earth. This lunar cycle starts with the new moon, when the moon is in the same direction as the sun. The side of the moon facing the Earth is dark and is lost to the sun's glare. At first quarter, the moon has moved 1/4 of the way around its orbit. At this point, it is at right angles to the sun, and we see it half-lit. About a week later, when the moon is full, it's opposite the sun in the sky. Rising just as the sun sets, its face is now fully illuminated. The moon reaches the 3rd quarter of its orbit in yet another week. From here, the moon wanes to a crescent and will become new again, starting the cycle all over. Since the moon is so far away, it always looks the same to everyone on Earth who can see it. It's located in different places in the sky depending on where you happen to be, but its appearance is constant. Interestingly, if you're in the southern hemisphere, the moon looks to be upside down compared to its appearance from the northern hemisphere. So even though the moon seems to be changing all the time, it really is just a trick of the light. For Ask an Astronomer, I'm Doris Dow of the Certus Science Center.